super succulent, juicy pork chops. Absolutely bursting with flavor in our creamy mustard sauce. Hi guys, how you all doing? Welcome to Backyard Chef. I'm Rick. Today we're going to make pork chops in a creamy mustard sauce. So I have a couple of decent pork chops here, and we're just going to salt and pepper these, get them in a pan, start to cook them off really slowly and put a little bit of colour on there. So let's show you how to do this. Okay guys, what we're going to do, we're going to put some salt and pepper on our chops. Now we're going to give it a good seasoning. And we're just going to give that a little pat down on there. Make sure it's all on. And then we're going to turn our chops over. And we're going to season the other side. So a good salting. And a good amount of black pepper. So I'll get that on there. And then we're going to give that a little pat down. Okay guys. Now we're going to cook this really low, but we're going to go in with a decent amount of butter. So get your butter in there. And we want a little bit of oil to stop the butter from burning. Okay, now I use olive oil and canola oil, 50-50 mix. And then what we want to do guys, we want to take our pork chops and we want to put our pork chops in there. So get our pork chops in. We do not want to be cooking these too high guys, and we want to go in with a little bit of garlic. So get the garlic in there. Now that's just going to put the flavour in there with the butter and the oil, and the pork chops might take a little bit of that on. So we're cooking this low and slow guys, really low and slow. Okay guys, so what we want to do, we want to turn our chops because we're trying to cook an even cook on here. So turn our chops. That's a nice bit of brown on there, look. Fantastic. So keep cooking low and slow guys. We want to put the colour on there and get some heat through the chops and start to cook the chops through. Now it's very easy. We can't do any more than just nurse the chops a little bit. So get the chops going through them nice and slow. I mean these chops are quite thick actually. They're about 1 inch thick. So they're quite big. And then what we're going to do guys, as we're going along the way, you know, with our pork chops, don't forget that this line down here, this line of fat, needs searing off. It needs cooking. That's all flavour. So turn your pork chops up. It's just the same as actually working a steak in the pan, you know. It is all flavour, and we need to make the most of that. So get the sides seared off. Oh, these are monsters. Same on the other one. Get it lifted up and seared it off. Just work your meat in the pan guys. Just going to take some of that burnt garlic out of there. Well, it's not burnt yet, but it will be. Take some of that butter mixture, get it on our chops. Oh. Oh. Guys, you know, to cook your pork chops properly, you know, you want to be cooking in about 10, 11, 12 minutes. Okay? It depending on the size of your pork chop, but these are a good inch thick. So we definitely want to be doing about 10, 11, 12 minutes. You know, we can just watch them as we go. I can still see you've got clear juices coming out of the top of this, but it's not cooked through. Getting a nice brown sear on there. We're getting a nice colour on these chops. They're going to look fantastic when we serve them up. Okay. Right, to me guys, these pork chops are done enough to come out. So we need to take them out and set them to rest. So take your chops out and set them to rest. Now guys, all we're going to do is take some tin foil and cover them over and rest them. So put our tin foil on there, put our chops to one side. Okay guys, same pan. Now we don't need it too hot, but we need a knob of butter. So let's get some butter in there. Let's put some butter in there. A tiny bit of oil. So we do not want to burn this butter. Give that a little swirl around. And then we're going in with our onions. Cook these onions so they go translucent. Now we've got to try not to burn them. In with a pinch of salt guys. In with a little bit of black pepper. So nice and steady, keep working your onions, we don't want to burn them. Okay guys, I'm going in with a pinch of thyme. So nice and steady. Okay guys, we need to deglaze the pan a little bit. Now, you would normally deglaze with some wine, you know, a little bit of wine in there. If you don't have wine, put in 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar and about 1 cup of chicken stock. And give that a nice little cooking in there. It will come back up to heat guys, don't worry about it. And then what we want to do, we want to go with a little splash of Worcester sauce. Now not much. Stir that in there. Now the apple cider vinegar is going to give that little bit of a sourish kick, obviously with a fruity flavour. And used with the chicken stock, it is a fantastic substitute for white wine. Fantastic. And then what we want to do guys, if I can find a spoon, we want to go in with 1 heaped teaspoon of Dijon mustard and 1 tablespoon of whole grain mustard. And give that a mix in there. Now you can go in any order on this. You could have put the cream in first if you want, but I like to put the mustard in first. And the smell coming out of this pan guys at the moment is absolutely incredible. Now you can make a mustard sauce without onions if you so wish. Just put a little bit of garlic in. But I think the onions in there add a little bit of body for this mustard sauce when you're eating it with your pork chop. Okay guys, and then we want to go in with a real good cup of cream. Get that in there, stir it in. Now you can go a bit more than this if you want a really good creamy sauce. Now that looks fantastic. So give it a stir around. And start to cook it and thicken it up. And then we're going to go back in with our pork chops, guys. We're going to get our pork chops in there, but the first job, we're going to have to taste this for seasoning. That actually tastes really good, actually. I think we might go a little bit more black pepper. We'll go a little bit more salt, a little pinch of salt in there, and we'll go a little bit more black pepper. Give that a stirring in, and that should be about perfect. So what we're going to do, we're going to just cook this down a little bit so it starts to thicken out a little bit in here. Then we're going to add the chops and any residual juices that's come out of the chops. What we need to do now is reintroduce our pork chops. So put our pork chops in there. Oh, look at that. And all our rested juices, because that is flavour. Now what we're going to do, I'm just going to mix that in a little bit, and what we're going to do, we're going to turn this down, and then what we're going to do, we're going to simmer this for about 10 minutes. Nice little basting over the top of those chops. That's the bit that's not in the fluid. Okay guys, I've got a big enough pan lid now. I'm just going to cover those chops over and let them cook under there for about 7-8 minutes. Oh man. Guys, perfectly cooked pork chop, really soft and tender, and that mustard sauce is fantastic. Now guys, I've served it up with carrots, beans and mashed potato. You can serve it up with whatever you like. Whatever you takes your fancy. But just look how soft and tender that pork is. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Guys, if you like what we're doing and you would like to subscribe, that would be absolutely fantastic. Till next time, keep safe.